Hello, good evening, and welcome to Garblag Games. I'm Ben, and we're going to be playing Spire from Rowan Rook and Descartes. I've still got my sound on. That was weird. I just got my own voice played back to me. Nobody likes that. So, thank you for coming this evening on this lovely rainy Friday night over here and this lovely, warm, sunny summer's day in sunny San Diego, where Aaron is.
Nice.
We're here to start a revolution and kill some high elves. Joining me tonight are...
Oh, wait, that was my cue. Damn it. This is why they don't pay us. Hello, I'm Aldun. I will be playing Nadia Reflected, a Vermissian sage, a master of the mysteries.
Next, good afternoon. I'm Aaron, and I will be playing Samedi, the Carrion priest, with his faithful hyena companion Ged, as we hunt down drug pushers in Elfir in the Underspire.
Hello, I am playing Rex, Admiral of the Lazy Dog. I'm a knight on no mission other than to smash people's heads in with my lance, even though a lance is for poking, not for hitting, but I was never taught that in knight school.
Greetings. I am Pat Gammon, and tonight I shall be portraying Weaves Like Harp, the midwife of the Drow tradition. I tend to the next generation of Drow and maintain our traditions.
Awesome.
Hi, I'm Leon, and I'm playing Lucian, a masked spy character. It's a bit of a letdown after Pat's awesome introduction. It's like, right?
Right, no one can follow Pat. It's fine.
Yeah.
We'll start making Pat go last then.
Yeah, I
That's
think
the
we
way to
should.
do it. That's right.
Yep.
I think it's right.
But
Don't
check it
gas
out.
me up,
Pat's
it'll go to
even
my head.
dressed for the part. Look at this with the scarlet robes of the midwife's order. Behold her infinite majesty.
Ben, do you not know of the knightly order that wears a fleece?
The knightly order of the fleecy jumper.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, there you go, Pat. That's got you a reroll already. Okay, so we are going to be playing some Spire tonight, and we're starting deep in the roughest part of the Spire itself, in the area known as Red Row, which is a part of the district of Derelictus. Derelictus is a hole at the bottom of Spire, a mile-high city stretching up into the clouds. Down in Derelictus, it's the roughest part of town. It's where people who have nothing left end up. It's where they go when they've lost it all. It's also where they go when they're trying to get it all back and trying to build back up. It's a cursed mess of broken masonry, tunnels to nowhere, and wet runoff from the layers above. Now, the layer above contains the docks, which is where Admiral Rex's fabulous naval vessel would be located. Things you find in Derelictus are all the horribleness that one would expect from a supernatural city full of downtrodden folk. There are gangs, there are dealers, there are all kinds of cults. They say there are cannibals down here as well. And our setting is Bedlam Hill, which sits right on the edge of Derelictus in the run-up to St. Perdita's Circle, the next level up in the Spire, marked at the junction by Bedlam Hill Sanatorium itself, which is a hospital for criminally deranged drow, carefully run and monitored by a loving Elfir and few drow doctors who work for them. And obviously they care deeply for their patients and they want nothing but the best for them, which is why it's a horrific edifice of mold-covered black stone from which you can hear screaming most hours of the night and day. You go in to Bedlam Hill, you don't come back out again. Now, your little group were all in the creche together. You were little baby drow together. You came out of the eggs at around the same time. You were raised by your mentor, Pat. What's her name?
Yes, my mentor. Her name was... One second. She of long legs.
She of long legs. And Mistress Longlegs has stayed a part of your life even after you went back to your parents and went off and did your durances. You finished that durance now, the enforced servitude that was done to you, by you, on you. And you've returned home to the streets of Derelictus to find them, if anything, less pleasant than when you'd left. Derelictus has always been a grimy, dirty, unpleasant place, but it seems like in your absence, either it's got worse or you've gotten used to better. And so you see the streets dripping with pseudo rain from the layer above where the docks sit. The streets are dark and lit by guttering spire black lanterns. The streets twist and turn around on themselves. Some seem to lead nowhere, some seem to lead everywhere. And you've been back for a short while, reintegrating yourselves into Drow society. And you've been invited, one and all, to join Mistress Longlegs at a club. Now, it's a Derelictus club, so don't get too excited about how upmarket it's going to be. It's a drinking establishment where some of the midwives' order are known to frequent. It's considered upscale for the area. The club is known as Spire Black Knight.
Spire Black Knight.
So is there anything you want to do before you make your way there to meet up with effectively your godmother?
Ooh, by the way,
Goddess
are all
mother.
Crash members part of each other's family or family?
No, not always.
Okay.
No, basically the crashes serve a whole group of families for an area. So it's like somewhere between a hospital and a kindergarten.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Do I have my squire with me?
You may indeed have
Yes.
poor Percival with you.
No, it's Percival.
Oh, yes,
There's a
Percival,
slight
isn't
pause. Yeah, Percival, yes. The sarcastic squire. Oh, God.
We will.
Okay, that's fine. I was just checking. Percival, how are you doing?
Do we have to be down here? It's a bit shit, isn't it, boss?
Well, this is my home. This is a place where I feel very safe. Very
You
safe.
feel safe
indeed.
here?
Yeah.
Bloody hell. I thought the docks were dangerous.
Well, it's all it's all relative, you know. I wouldn't want to eat off the floor here, but where would you want to eat off the floor, you know?
Yeah, fair point.
Yeah.
What are we
Well,
doing here then?
Oh well, we're seeing my my godmother. Mm-hmm.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, we're gonna have a drink. I'm very
Of course,
excited.
yeah, you grew up round here, didn't you?
Yeah. And we're gonna see all my crash mates, and I'm very excited to see them.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
I went to one of those crash meets once. It was like everyone had just swelled.
Oh, okay. Well, I did. Maybe this. Okay. Oh, okay. Now I'm a bit nervous, but I'll be fine. Yeah. No, it'll be all right. It'll be fine. Yeah.
What about you, Aaron? Anything you want to do before you head to this meeting?
I think Samede is in a nearby alley meeting with one of his contacts, Walker and Dis, the fallen Aelfir Skald. And he's leaning close and handing over some jewelry and personal effects. He says, I ran an Elfia down recently near the sump, buying drugs and preparing to go into the heart. The hunt was fulfilling. Ged ate well, and Charnel has been appeased for yet another day. Feel free to take his belongings with him. I know not who his family was, and I care not. I have a meeting to go to. An old mentor has asked us to go to this club. I do not know what for, but I will be up Spire within a few days to discuss the next incursion of your brethren into the Underspire. And with that, he turns and walks away.
Your Elfir contact pulls up this huge voluminous hood. It's not a good idea to be seen to be Elfir in these parts, and scurries away into the shadows. Nadir,
Hello!
what are we up to?
I am reclining in one of my stacks, just finishing off a fascinating book about how to steal. It's very interesting. I very much like my research. I tend to forget things after, say, a session, but for the next little while, I'm going to I feel like I have the fingersmith for stealing of the documents, which, as a Vermisian sage, is what we like to do, and then we squirrel them away in the magical, mystical tunnels of the Vermisian.
Very good. So you're
Also,
brushing up on
apparently,
your
I'm
skills.
going to a party.
Jolly good. Leon, anything that Lucian wants to get done?
No, he reckons is still working on that one. Hang on. Frog in my throat.
No.
What about weaves like harp? Is there any?
I suppose my character probably would be in contact with her colleague, Drinks of Life, who does not know about any of the silliness. And she would probably take leave of wherever she's working presently, possibly somewhere else in the Spire, because she was raised to become a midwife, but does not work still, presumably in the same creche as She of Long Legs. So leaving her, she would honestly just have a rather quiet and, unless bothered, uneventful travel to the...
People don't bother the midwives for some reason.
Yeah, I can understand why. Shoot, honestly, like what I'm seeing, everybody else is like having interactions with other people, and I'm just kind of like strolling down the street with like robes billowing behind me.
Crowds parting as you go.
Yeah, self-possessed, chin high. And she approaches the club with intent to enter.
Well, Spire Black Knight is nowhere near on the same sort of scale as the more well-known club in the district, L'Enfant Noir. It is, however, quite exclusive. The two drow at the door barely bat an eyelid when you swan up to the door, remove a short length of red rope. It's probably not velvet. It's more likely to be hemp and red because of what it's dyed with.
Mm-hmm.
And just opens the rope and lets you straight through into the club. Now, the club is playing this strange stringed music, popular among younger drow at the minute, very much like screaming and wailing on a chorus of about a dozen stringed instruments that sound like they're all being played against one another in kind of conflict. But conflict music is very en vogue at the minute. So there's sort of battle music, and there are people watching and sitting around at tables, sipping away on small glasses of drink. A few people chewing away on malak leaves, despite it being illegal. They really don't seem to give a damn. There's a bar along one wall. There is a disproportionate number of midwives sat in this room. Red robes on almost every table.
Wow. It's like a gathering. I suppose I taciturnly look around and search for She of Long Legs.
She doesn't appear to be there at the minute.
Anyone else I recognize?
Stood at the bar, there is a midwife of your acquaintance who you've worked with in the past. They're from further up Spire. They generally work in the manufactory, looking after the offspring of workers up there.
Well, all right. What is What might her name be? Do I recall?
Her name is Thrice Touched by the Goddess.
The goddess Ishkra, I'm assuming. Correct?
Could be Ishkra, could be one of the others. The triple
enough.
goddess has many faces.
Which
least
one are we
3.
not supposed to talk about? I forget.
Lekole and Lombra.
2/3 of them, yeah.
Lekole and Lombra are the ones we don't talk about, yes. Limier
Okay,
is
cool.
the one that it's okay to talk about.
All right. So I
Yes,
would approach her then.
She bows her head as you approach it. Sister,
Sister, may Ishkra's cocoon cradle you.
and you also, may I buy you a drink?
I would be honored.
She calls over the barman, who's a very old-looking drow gentleman. So old that his hair has gone white. Probably wasn't always that colour, like many of the others you can see. And he sort of hobbles over, pours 2 glasses of a thick red wine, and shambles away again. Meanwhile, at the door, Admiral Rex.
Yes. Okay. I didn't want to take it for yes, but I'm here. Oh, can I? Did they let me through, or is the door still shut?
There's 2 guards, drow
Okay.
guardsmen, stood outside the door. They're both wearing sort of mismatched, patched leather armor. They're carrying truncheons,
Okay.
though one of the truncheons does look like it's got nails driven through it.
Well, a lance is just a really big truncheon, so I'm
Yeah, it
clearly
is.
amongst equals and peers.
But you're also wearing the plate armor of a knight of the docks, so you got
That's
quite an
true.
impressive figure as it is.
Yes. Hello. Can I come in, please? Oh,
It's a private club.
and pair. Oh, but I'm gonna meet my godmother. I've not seen her in a while, and my crash mates are gonna be in there as well.
All right. Who are you coming to see?
She with long legs.
Right. Yeah. All right then.
Oh, and my squire, please. Per Civil.
The boy.
Yeah.
Look, don't go swinging that thing around in here, though, right?
Oh, of course not. Of
I'm not going to
course
take
not.
it off you because you've got a license and everything. But
Yeah. Mhm. A knight never uses his lance in vain. That's what all the older knights said, and then laughed. I don't know what the connotation is. It's clearly quite a funny thing to use your lance.
yeah. All right. Yeah. In you go then. Don't worry about it.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night. I'm gonna go in. Do I see any of my crash mates?
You can see, well, you can see a metric shit ton of red-robed midwives.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm
in here.
really like,
There's one all over the place. It's like walking in and going, oh God, it's like going to Catholic school.
well,
and then
I'm
seeing
just, yeah, I was
nuns.
just thinking, I'm like, okay, I know one of my crash mates was a midwife, and I'm gonna get in like, oh, there's a lot of them. Oh no. I'm gonna have to find... Hello.
Remember which one
So
it
you've got this
was.
sort of conflict music belting out from the stage. You've heard this sort of thing before. These guys are actually quite good at it. The people that play it up in the docks around the Lazy Dog and other taverns in the area tend to get more into fights. They're using the instruments to play other people's faces rather than... They start off with the screechy music and then they just sort of beating each other with instruments. So
Yeah,
it's
a good
interesting to
time.
actually see it being played rather than played on someone's face.
Yeah.
And the
It's
audience
very-
here is actually paying attention to it rather than also playing on each other's faces with their fists.
Yeah. Well,
There's a
it's
lengthy bar all down one wall with this
Okay.
very elderly drow gentleman kind of puttering up and down the bar as he goes.
I would like to go over to the gentleman. It's like, excuse me, can I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5 crash mates. Can I have 10 drinks? 5 of them for them and 5 for me, please.
Drinks or what?
Alcohol.
Grape?
Yes.
Or do you want the proper stuff?
Well, proper stuff would be nice, but I don't want to guilt trip them. I don't know if they've had if they are alcohol drinkers. So just, well, that's a good point, actually.
He puts a tray down on the
Okay.
table, puts 10 little shot glasses on it, and in the middle of that puts the dirtiest bottle you've probably seen in a while, and you've seen some dirty bottles.
Okay.
The label is barely legible, and inside there appears to be a thick, viscous, clear fluid.
Okay. Oh, yes. This is the kind of stuff that I would drink. Yes. Okay. I will probably have this for myself. No, I won't do that. Okay. Thank you. I will. Yes, I will pay the man. I can't remember how. I don't need to have like.
You don't need to pay individual cash.
Yeah.
It would come off of your silver if there were actually a challenge here, but you're just buying a drink.
Yeah,
at the bar.
exactly.
So you basically bought a bottle of Derelictus gin.
Yay. Okay.
Well, that sounds quite classy now. Hipster.
Yeah, it pours like molasses.
It's got to chip it out the bottle, basically.
Yeah. Pick up the tray. Okay. Do I see? Rhyme again. It's only two of us that are in here right now.
Yes. Yeah. Aaron's at the door right now.
Okay.
So we'll see. You're sort of stood there with a tray of drinks looking for someone. Pat, you might see this hulking knight with a lance being held by his squire, holding a tray of drinks and looking around the room like he's looking for someone.
Oh, I think I recognize that person. That person.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd probably be trying to have some sort of taciturn conversation. I don't know. Like, there's probably some sort of standard conversation that most midwives have with each other before they get onto any other sort of like deeper topics, like how goes your crash and such and such.
Yeah.
We're probably deep in the middle of our formulaic conversation, and then I turn around and I say, "Oh, excuse me. I believe I have a fellow crashmate in the room."
Of course.
And what would I recognize your name?
Rex.
I probably would.
I think Rex is probably an
you probably have
assumed
another
name or a later day name that you'd have picked up.
Oh, okay, interesting. Oh, I thought, because I was going to say, I thought the gag was it's like they were all given proper drow names, and then our crash mother got to me, and it's like, yeah, Rex. Yeah, it's just quicker. I mean, yeah.
That's cool. No, if you want Rex to be your given name, that's also absolutely fine.
That's fine, yeah. I'm like 2 times the size of my fellow beings. Like, I'm a big
Those
baby.
are these other little teeny tiny slender drow babies, and then there's this enormous fat chonkalonka.
What were they feeding you?
Fucking big ass grub. Yeah, so I would politely excuse myself from the conversation I was having, with intent to resume should such become. Actually, yeah, sorry. So I maybe I should let you sign me
let's
off
get Aaron
here.
into
I
the
guess I
bar.
would probably say something along the lines of, yeah, okay, fair enough.
So outside at the door, you've got these 2 burly drow guards, but you carry yourself with the look of a professional soldier, and you've got a freaking hyena. One of them you know is actually one of the faithful of Charnel, and he sort of nods respectfully when you approach, because not everybody has been blessed in the way that you have. And his mate's like, "You on the list then, Guff?"
I'm on the list everywhere. Charnel claims who Charnel will claim.
Yeah, well, we don't want Charnel claiming anyone tonight, do we? Not in here.
Let's let Charnel make that decision. And he reaches down and grabs the ruff of Ged's fur. Don't you agree, Ged? Don't you agree?
Yeah, but you're not going to actively pursue the causing of Charnel's,
I have no quarry to hunt within your walls tonight.
All right, well, fair enough. And he lets you in, and he turns to his mate and says, "It's on your head. You knew him. You vouched for him."
And so when he walks in, you see an average height drow, but he's pretty buff too from spending years in the military. He's got bone white skin and the dead black eyes of a shark with 3 great scars coming down from the top of his head down around his face. He keeps his head shaved, probably to show off those scars more. He's still wearing his military issued Sandstrider field jacket and pants and heavy combat boots, and he's got his war cleaver on one hip and his chained hook on his other, and his eyes are always moving. So I think he quickly recognizes his old battle brother, Admiral Rex.
You're going to see Admiral Rex standing out like nobody's business because he's almost a head taller than everyone else in here.
And so they
stood by his side is a slender drow midwife who looks to have just approached him.
So they start to move with purpose towards the Admiral, but the entire time his eyes and head is on a swivel, clocking everyone, looking for those who have defied Charnel's will.
Ain't nobody defying nothing, Gov. I didn't do it.
Did not touch it. I don't even
I
know
like
what
the
it
idea of
is.
it's like, hey, like no reckoning in here. It's a classy. Well, it's not a classy place, but it's a clean. Well, it's not really clean. Just don't do it in the. Just don't do it in the club, please.
I
Yeah,
work here.
It's a
Please
place.
don't ruin it.
Midwives don't like it when you upset them.
Yes. No, they no.
Probably
I don't imagine they
a
would.
better reason.
Yes. Okay.
So you approach the two of them who are stood around Rex, who's holding a tray with a bottle and 10 small glasses, not much bigger than a thumb on each one.
I look up at him. I look down at Ged. Ged lets out a little cackle. And I'm like, well met, brother. How is the family and the pub?
Brother! I'm going to put the tray down kind of forcefully and then immediately hug you. Yes. And then I'm going to try and like pet the hyena. And then I'm also going to try and grab the midwife behind me, just like over here.
I just got this mental image of that hyena chewing on your armor. It's actually trying to eat you, but you just think it's being playful.
Yeah,
oh, look, he's
exactly.
playing. Like, no, I'm trying to eat you.
I grab Ged by the ruff and I'm like, no, he's with us.
Well, last time I saw he was always dead. It's like, yeah, well, he's alive now. So,
So you would then recognize that Weaves Like Harp is one of your crash mates and has grown up to become a midwife herself, just like Mistress Longlegs, who is your godmother.
Weaves.
I nod to her and I go, Maji, it is good to see you again. How is your family? How is the hatchery?
The family as well. The hatchery is doing quite fine. Much appreciated. And your family?
Ged and I are well. That is all the family I have. But may Ishkra and Damnau bless the hatchery.
Some families are large, some are small. All are equally valid in the eyes of Ishkra.
This is
Well
Percival.
spoken.
I kind of grab
At
Percival.
this point, Leon, who has been picking up glasses from tables, putting them on trays, dropping them off at the bar, just sort of wandering around inside. He came in through the kitchen about 20 minutes ago. Kind of saunters over to you, swaps his faces over.
Greetings, siblings. Lucian's going to say he's wearing a black mask that emanates more from the mouth up. Wait, you can hear me, right?
Yeah. You're so
Like
good.
silver
Yes.
filigree over it, so it's kind of a swirly, kind of tree-like pattern going up and over. That's his main recognizable mask, and then kind of a cloak over it with fanciest frilly kind of shirt thing underneath it.
I think
Well
it's,
met, sibling.
Greetings,
it's,
siblings.
hug time once more. Yes. Big bear
I
hug.
suppose I could hug.
Yes. Here, come here. We'll have to have a group hug. Yes.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
okay.
It's bear hug. Like
She's not accustomed to bear hugs. She's
No,
definitely
yeah.
more like a kind of creepy, soft hug.
yeah. You do like the yes.
A table becomes vacant.
Yes.
just near a door that wasn't there a minute ago.
Perhaps it is Ishkar's blessing that we choose to take that table. We certainly have company now.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it shows the door that shows up claims to be a door leading to station number 17,
Fuck.
which really shouldn't be opening inside a building, but there you go.
Hello.
Ged's head cocks and his nose goes wide and he starts to growl, cackle deep in his chest. Like, that's all right. The damn Vermisian.
Yes.
Another of our crush has arrived.
Oh, hello.
Nadir, yes.
How are we all? Oh, my word, you got big.
Yeah. I think it was all the
What
vegetables
were
I
they
ate.
feeding you?
Big hug.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
Nadia,
Yes.
subtle as always.
Yeah, beer.
Yeah, mostly beer.
Beer,
Yes,
a lot
okay.
of
Don't
beer.
crush the scrolls. Careful now. Okay. hello.
Okay, yes. Sorry. It's good to see you.
And
How are
also
you?
I am full of mysteries, but also well. How is the family?
The family's very good. I have a squire now, and Weaves is a midwife. It's
Yes,
awesome.
I get. There are a lot of midwives here. Is it like
Yeah.
egg season
There
or something?
are. And no. I was actually quite curious as to why that might be as well. I had just begun a conversation, conversations amongst us midwives. We must follow certain protocols. I hadn't quite gotten to asking why there are so many of us among here.
Okay, I'm making notes now, covering the protocols. Do the protocols involve not eating each other, or do you not take it that far?
That is the first protocol. Protocol 1, do not eat each other.
Okay, just to be clear.
Predominantly, we don't eat each other, yes.
Right. Okay, just checking. Just
As
for the
long as you are in
research.
service of the drow. If you sin against the people, Charnel will have you.
As this I am very aware. In fact, I think if I do quite well, I expect Charnel to also take me. So,
Absolutely. But then your soul will go on to damn now instead of being devoured by death itself.
yes, I will look longingly and with some hopefully time between being eaten at the hyena.
I got a lance, and I'm not going to draw it,
You
but
have a
I'm going to be
very
like,
large club
yes,
with a pointy end.
yeah.
Okay, does that not usually? I read a book about this. So usually you have something that you are on and you poke people with the pokey end.
Well, yeah, you run really quickly at somebody, yeah.
His lance is currently being held by a surly-looking drow teenager who's wearing a surcoat that's got a picture of a dog on it. The dog is either dead or asleep. It's not entirely clear.
I like the
He
idea that I'm
is with
Rex,
you?
the Rex the drooler or something. Slobberer, actually, Slobberer sounds better. I like that.
Well, yes, okay. Our crash mother will be so proud.
It is
Everyone's
good to see you all, but
Yeah.
I am here to see she of the long legs.
Yes, I believe
Yeah.
I got an invitation that just appeared in my stack and told me to come here. So, what is afoot?
We were all invited. I did some brief reconnaissance to see if I could find her, but I had no such luck.
You mean you looked around the bar?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Just for my notes. Thank you.
I'm gonna
Barman
Quite
comes
studious.
shuffling over, dragging one of his legs, and puts another tray down on the table. This one doesn't have any drinks on it. It has a single folded sheet of paper sealed with wax with a picture of a spider on it.
Oh. Unless anybody takes it, because I'm going to move very slowly towards it with both hands, kind of just like
I will kind
dropping on
of
it.
reflexively twitch because it's a document and I want it. But they're like, no. This is obviously for our midwife. Also, barman, you're not very good at your job. There are no drinks on this tray.
You've got the gin.
Yes, but I've had
I
your
will have
gin
left that on the
before.
table.
It's very good for preserving things that were once alive. Maybe we could have something we could actually drink.
The wine here is quite nice.
Okay, well, that would be nice. Maybe wine for everybody?
Oh, I was
Oh, I've
gonna
already
have
had
the.
it.
I think herself's got some for you.
Okay.
Okay.
After descending upon the ladder like a spider
It's a
snatching up prey,
very, very
I grab
simple
it.
little message in the scratchy handwriting of she with the long legs, and it just says upstairs now.
Oh no.
Stop fucking about.
I guess they're in my pocket.
Oh,
Explain that.
It's a strong temptation just to pickpocket that now.
Oh my god. I turn around to the group and I say, I believe Madam She of Long Legs is waiting for us upstairs.
Oh,
It would be rude to keep her waiting. That's all.
fantastic.
That Samede just stands up without saying another word. He and Ged start walking towards the stairs.
A man of action.
I'm going to flick to a different part of my notebook because I very much want to see how a hyena deals with stairs.
He is quite adept.
Well, I'm making little anatomical sketches. This is fascinating.
Quite gracefully,
Very
as
good
it turns
research.
out. He does lean into the stairs a little bit because
With the
his front half
big,
is heavier
big
than the back
top half.
So there's a small set of rickety stairs that lead up and down round at the side opposite the bar, near the kitchens, very easy to overlook. The downward stairs lead to a public lavatory. The stairs up don't appear to lead anywhere. There's no label, there's no sign, there's no indication that there's anything up there of any note or interest. But when you reach the top, there is a narrow corridor with creaky wooden floorboards. Leon, you would probably realize that the creaky floorboards are actually arranged in a pattern as you walk across them.
Oh.
You could identify not only who is approaching, but how big they are and how many of them there are just by listening to the creaks if you knew what you were doing. This is a classic setup for ministers.
It does. I have
There
read
are
of
some
this.
small rooms on either side, one of which has a little red spider token dangling from the door handle.
I gracefully walk up to it.
I am
kind of
attempting to
glide
play a
up to-
tune on the nightingale floor.
Over the sound of the conflict music from downstairs.
I'm kind of joining in.
Yes.
And the room that you go into, it's remarkably different to the rest of the place. It's like a small sitting room that you would expect to find in a house. So the walls are all deep red, but decorated with a sort of paisley pattern in a slightly different shade of red. So you can only really see it if you stare at it. But if you stare at it for too long, your eyes start to go a little bit. There is one wall which contains a dresser, and on top of the dresser, there's this huge glass box full of enormous spiders. So several spiders weaving their little webs inside this big glass box. A set of sofas and chairs around a small fireplace. And sat on a table in the middle of that is a couple of carafes of wine and 6 glasses.
I picked up the gin bottle as we went, and I've been kind of just like not chugging it, but like definitely drinking more than I should have on the
You
way
could
up.
absolutely use it to clean coins,
Yeah.
start
Oh
fires,
my god.
disinfect
it.
toilets.
Ged and I pace about the room and then post up in a corner looking into the room, but we don't touch the wine.
Folding out of an armchair, almost as though she'd been invisible to this point, red on red, with the black chasing of a senior midwife, is Mistress She of the Long Legs, your godmother, creche mother, and mentor. She
I bow my
opens
head
up
deeply.
both sets of arms and beckons you to sit.
Oh, I'm going to misread that as a hug.
I won't.
Oh,
Big, like, doof.
I just kind of stare at the hug like,
What
She
could
kind
go
of
wrong?
accepts the hug for a split second and then
Yeah.
directs you into a chair quite subtly but remarkably forcefully.
Yes, I can imagine.
Yeah, well,
As is the way.
I'll sit.
So- s-
Thanks, Alden. We really needed that.
All right.
Welcome,
nice.
my children. How you've grown.
Well,
I
yes,
would that we had
especially
more
Rex.
time to discuss how you've changed and grown. I have followed your careers eagerly, and I was most pleased to hear that each of you had been welcomed into the ministry of our hidden mistress.
Oh, the rest of you are also. Oh, okay.
Oh, that's why we're all together.
Oh, I thought you wanted to see us. Okay, I'm a little.
I'm
bit
very
hurt
pleased to see
now.
you,
I'm a
and even
little
more
bit
pleased
hurt.
to know that you are drow of purpose, drow of meaning. This is wonderful to me to have so many from a single crash all grow to serve our cause and our people so perfectly. I'm very, very proud of you all. Even more so, I am proud to have been named as your contact to the ministry. So it will be me, or possibly Weaves Like Harp on my behalf, delivering messages and missives from the ministry to yourselves. For now, the thing that interests us most is the area around us. Derelictus, Bedlam Hill, Red Row. We are concerned. How much do you know of the area? I know some of you have been away.
I have grown up on the streets here after my parents died, and I returned here after the war and my durance to hunt in Charnel's name. Derelictus and Red Row are my hunting grounds.
There are three names that all who come to live in Derelictus eventually come to know. Mother Moon, the Sisters, and Mr. Winter. You may already have done work for one or more of them since returning. They have something of a stranglehold on the area. It's somewhat distressing. Mother Moon is less of a concern to us at present, but the sisters and the gentleman are a concern. Another concern we have is the asylum. We know very little about it. And finally, there is a church of sacred guns. These things trouble us. Now, obviously, the three landlords of Derelictus, they own almost all of the houses, almost all of the streets. They are making money off the backs of poor drow who work day in, day out to earn a pittance, most of which is lost to greedy landlords. This is a major concern. The others less so. However, I am concerned that when it comes to the asylum, that they are moving into the area and looking to target ministers. Several of our people have gone missing recently, and I've heard tell that that is where they are bound. And so the mission I have for you is threefold. First, I want to find out more about the asylum. Second, I want to know whether this Church of the Gun wishes us ill or whether it can be turned to our advantage. And finally, I would like to strike a blow against the landlords and their greed. I realize this gives you an open diktat to take what actions as you see fit. However, you have shown yourselves to be capable, educated, strong, individuals. And so I trust you that working together, none of these problems should pose much of a difficulty to you. But I would caution you to be careful with whom you trust and whom you share information. Not all within the ministry are as they would seem, and not all without the ministry are as they would seem. Beware the viper with two heads. Now, let us catch up and tell me of what you've been doing with yourselves. I can see that at least one of you has joined the Order of Knights.
Yes, that would be me. That's me. That's me. And this is Civil. This
Are
is my
those some
squire.
admiral's pips on your shoulders?
Yes. I have a boat. It's called the Arg.
The Arg.
Arg. ARG. I think it had something at the end of it, but it fell off. So it's just the Arg now. But I'm very proud of
and
it.
would you say that people who travel within would be Argonauts?
I think they'd just be Argonauts.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
But an admiral, how high you've climbed in such a short time.
Mm-hmm. It's
well done.
Thank you. I feel like legitimately happy. Yay! An imaginary thing that I didn't earn. Yes. Yes.
Mother loves us. Oh.
What about the rest of you?
So
Those are some
Mayday
new
looks
scars
down.
you have, my son.
There are many scars. There are many scars, Maji. He glances over at Rex. We fought in Father Nujab for quite a while before Charnel called me, and now I hunt here in his name. So when you tell me that you wish us to go after the sisters who brought about the death of my family, you almost make me smile, because I would see the streets of Derelictus awash in the blood of the sisters and all they hold dear. But I will acquiesce to my other ministers as to which of the tasks you have appointed we choose to hunt first.
Subtlety is our greatest tool.
Yes.
Indeed.
And the rest of you? Would you care to share anything of your lives?
I have
You're
become a
among
midwife,
friends.
following in your footsteps.
And I am proud of you for that, my daughter.
I appreciate your upbringing and raising me to know right from wrong, and the import of our ancient traditions, and protecting them from
And
those
may all
who
three
see them
faces of the
erased.
goddess smile upon you.
All three, yes.
What did the Vermissian know of our asylum? Nadir, have you heard anything?
I have not, but I will question some of the other researchers. We have so much material that one mind cannot contain it all, or at least not for long, before it starts to escape. Either the mind or the knowledge, one of the two. Possibly
I
both.
have heard it said.
Yes, but I am intrigued. I have been most intrigued by the asylum, that people enter and no one leaves. This seems to go against all lore and all tradition. At least one person should leave, no matter how many enter.
Presumably, if they are treating the sick, some of the sick must get well.
Well, it depends what they are sick with.
Quite.
I think their only sickness is being drow.
Oh, well,
Indeed.
that is a sickness that we cannot be cured of, and neither we should be.
And thus are we concerned within the ministry. And Feathers, or Lucian, which do you prefer these days?
Either is good. I use names as I use masks. as I blend into the shadows. I've heard many rumors of the asylum, but I am becoming the stuff of rumors.
And this is a wonderful way to be. You can't fight a rumor.
But you can kill with a whisper.
Or a knife. I find that works too.
Or a lance. Or a hyena.
Is that or a prey hook? Oh, carrion priest and their prey hooks. Now that we are talking about.
I do enjoy pulling my prey down with the hook and then letting Ged tear their throat out. You are both correct.
Mm.
These are all fangs of Ishkra.
We're like kids having picked our favorite. Like, actually, my weapon is way cooler. No, mine is.
And
I
I'm just
will
here like,
leave you to
all
your
these weapons are good.
deliberations. Drink the wine. Use the gin to clean your weapons.
Yes, I think
Just
so.
drinking more.
Should you need me, pass a message through Weaves Like Harp, and I will come to you.
I'm honored to be your contact with Enoch. Madam. Mistress.
Daughter. And she gives you a slight nod and then gracefully sachets out of the room again, folding all of her arms back inside her robes.
On the inside, I'm just like, wow, she's so cool. I'm so happy I chose to be a midwife. We're awesome.
I like the idea.
Sketching.
I like the idea that I'm sitting on a sofa and whoever else is on there, like the sofa's tilted up at a 45-degree angle.
So Mayday will turn to everyone and goes, I normally hunt alone. It will be different, but I welcome my creche mates. I am very direct in my approach, and I do not believe this will serve us here. What say you? How should we approach these tasks? Where should we look first?
We've been given 3 tasks, each of which is of the utmost import and different yet connected on the same web. We should discuss amongst ourselves how best to proceed. I don't have an easy answer.
What do you think, Percival?
Oh,
Percival in the room?
Yeah, Percival.
So allowed in this meeting of the fucking history.
This is an important
your
skill of a
auntie was
knight.
well scary.
Yes.
This lot,
Hello.
bloody hell.
Mhm.
I've seen you getting some scraps, but I wouldn't fight him. And he points at Samidi.
Well, why would you? Samidi's a brother.
Ged growls. Goes, it's all right, boy. No prey here today.
Well,
Yeah, and he's got a giant dog cat, and I'm not convinced. And what the hell?
well, I know that's a hyena. I told you about them. Remember, I was fighting like big talking hyenas in the war.
Oh yeah,
Remember?
Knowles. Yeah, I've seen one.
Yeah.
Seen
Okay,
one.
yeah.
It was stuffed, but I've seen one.
Oh,
Okay.
we have some of those
was
down in
horrible.
the vaults. Oh, they're fun. I use them to keep my hats on.
God. But what you need to understand, Percival, is that this is an important skill of a knight, is listening with your ears and then thinking with your brain. So what you've listened to, you've now got to think about.
Right, but I'm not a knight, am I? I'm a squire.
Yeah, but you're learning how to be a knight. Now, see, watch this. I'm going to show you, okay? I think, and I say this to the group,
Are you sure?
we should kill some of them. Now, you need to be taking notes, this person. It's a really important skill, okay?
Right, kill something. Got you.
No, you listened to the person that you might have to kill, and you got to think about killing them. And
Wait.
then you got to kill them.
Are you going to kill us?
Listen to someone you're going to
No.
kill and then kill them.
I'm
No,
not
you
following either
misunderstood.
now.
Somebody like tried to
Weaves
take
like
notes,
Harp
like,
is just fucking head palming.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Chief. Why don't we let the clever
Uh-huh.
ones do the thinking, and then
Hello.
we can do the hitting when they tell us to.
With your big hitting stick. Yes, I think this is a very good plan.
Am I even supposed to be here?
No.
I think I'm in trouble, aren't I?
Yeah.
No,
a
no,
little
you're not
bit.
in trouble. Wait,
That-
I was confused. I
You,
thought my
you don't
I
have
thought
to
my-
worry, Percival. As
Yeah.
long as you don't betray us, I will not kill you. But if you do, you will not see it coming, and you will feed Charnel. Does that
Is
set
my
you at ease?
squire?
Not
yeah,
betray
no,
you.
Not in
any
the-
of us will kill you if the time comes.
Not betray. No,
Yes.
I do
will
want.
not kill him.
You know, I
will
want to be a
merely
knight. I
take
do want to
him.
be a knight. I want to grow up to be a knight, and you know, who knows? One day, maybe I'll be an admiral as well and get my own leaky
Very
ship boat.
small boat.
Question: Is my squire in the know for the ministry? Because I just assumed he would be.
He
God,
because-
wasn't, but he is now.
Oh, well.
You've just recruited a child into your
Well,
terrace.
I didn't know. I just
That's
kind of assumed.
normal.
I just kind of assumed
Yeah.
bonds
Knight out
inherently.
here with his radicalization.
Yeah.
Why? Okay, well, you say it like that. It sounds
Child
worse.
soldiers.
Welcome to the
look.
cult.
Look, I don't always agree with things the ministry do, and I know they're supposed to be bad, but I'm not going to go up against you lot because, frankly, you're quite scary.
Yes.
And I have learned one or two things from his admiralship here, and that is don't fight scary people.
Well, this is good advice.
It seems he's
It's
got
all-
the thinking down.
It's all right,
There are many
Percival.
scary
We'll most
people
likely
in this
kill you
world.
in the morning, but it's all right.
Or I could just
Okay.
take his brain away and
You
file
just
it.
dread Pirate Roberts, Tim. I like it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Pla-
Some scary people need to be fought, though.
Player
I would
no,
say.
I just assumed all bonds, unless explicitly stated, were in the ministry in some capacity. I didn't realize that
It's
was the
okay.
case.
It's cool.
But
You have
now
just
I know.
recruited someone into the ministry,
It's
which
fine.
is
Well,
totally
here we
acceptable.
go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now you
I
have a
also-
patsy further down the pecking order.
Yay!
Oh
It's
no, I
a
don't want
pyramid
that.
scheme, basically.
No.
So, the asylum?
Yes.
That sounds like the greatest threat to the ministry.
I think so, but I think maybe we need some subtlety and infiltration to commence
concur.
with before we start with the stabbing and the hooking and the gnawing and the hitting with
Yes.
the very large stick.
I agree. You must
I'm
prepare
looking at
before you
feathers
hunt.
at this point.
You must weave a web in order to catch your prey.
Or a trap, or maybe a pit with spikes in it. This also works quite well. Or a bucket of acid over a doorway. This also is good. Sorry,
I'm
I was
speaking
reading about this
metaphorically.
just the other week. I know you midwives with your spider analogies. Yes.
So,
Some people must come and go. The building needs supplies.
There must be staff.
Exactly.
Yes, indeed.
And if there are doors, then well, I can use those. So
Let us-
Congratulations, you've learned how to use doors.
I know it's so good, isn't it?
let's track the staff then. Track the Elfir and the Drow conspirators. And perhaps catch them unaware after they leave the asylum.
It'd also be good to see who's feeding them. There must be grocery supplies going in and out. That might be a more subtle way.
Unless they just feed them. Unless they just feed them the dead from within the asylum itself.
Oh, I don't think Connor would be very happy with that.
Nor do
No,
I think it's
he would
sustainable.
not.
Why do I get the feeling, Sam, Eddie, that given half the chance you would track one of these people who works there and then wear them like a hat?
Wearing the skin would be wasteful. It
Okay.
all belongs to Charnel.
But you could not just borrow it for the purposes of investigation?
I would be quite happy to wear a skin suit if that would get us where we needed to be. I have no issue with that.
I did not think you did.
Indeed.
Okay, good. Just good to know. You know, just going to put a pin in that one. Literally, pin. I have a pin right here. I'm putting it in my notebook.
So we all agree that the asylum is perhaps the most important issue that we are facing, because that is where we assume they're taking Drow dissidents and
Yes.
members of our ilk.
We think so. Do we know
The-
anything of the Church of the Gun?
Brother Hellion has operated the church, began the church. I have been to a few of his congregations, to his meetings. The gun, I have one myself, is a useful tool, but It is just a tool. Their worship of it is
Sacrilegious.
foul. It is indeed. Charnel, Ishkra, Damnau, those are our gods. To worship a gun, you might as well be human.
Oh, well, now there's no need for that kind of language.
Oh, indeed. However, we should do some reconnaissance on them as well. The landlords, I feel, are a difficult threat to contend with, but a known quantity. The two mysteries that must be unraveled are the asylum and the church itself.
Yes.
I agree.
I can
Landlords.
go back to the vaults and do some investigation from there. I would offer to take some of you, but you would go mad. But I can make use of the great resources that have been collected. Well, I didn't want to say it.
Yes,
Thank
you
Percival.
keep the insanity of the Vermissian to yourself, Sage. It's no place for me.
Well, I wasn't going to inflict any on you, but sometimes it's good to share.
So you're going to head for the stacks.
Yes.
What about everybody else? Plans?
I think maybe reconnoiter around the asylum and try to see where members of the staff may enter or leave, so we can either follow and grab one, or at least know if there's easier ways to get in the front door.
Okay, so I'm going to call for some rolls once we have a rough idea on what everybody wants to do. Now, what's your plan?
I'm considering going to church.
I will accompany anyone that needs some backup. Because if you didn't guess, knights are not brainy. They're
like,
more brawny.
Rex can come with me. I think I would be more invisible if I have a very loud knight standing next to me. It's like a form of anti-camouflage.
And they look over there.
Okay. So what are you wanting to do though? Like where you want to go?
We can look around the perimeter of the asylum. I'm thinking maybe if we go one way round, and then somebody can travel another way around.
Oh, okay, right.
Or maybe stake out the entrance if you're looking to then stalk, which I believe Samedi is particularly skilled at.
Yeah.
Weaves. What are you going to be doing?
So let me just make sure, Nadir, you're going to the stacks to
I need to re-enter the Vermissian to make use of the vast amounts of knowledge that are held within there. This will allow me to pull together some research materials on the asylum and possibly even the church. So I hope to return with useful information and maybe a different hat.
Not to split the party too much, but would we be averse to me investigating the church? I can't think of a reason why I would be seen outside the perimeter of the asylum without due cause.
I wonder what Percival thinks about
that. Yes.
Okay, Percival.
Was that the right answer?
It was a very good answer.
Good work.
You're doing very well. I'm very proud. Do you want to go with? So you're going to be with me. Don't worry, because I'm not going to let you out my sight. But do you think we should go with Weaves to the church, or should we go to the stakeout or the stakeout? I can't look back at. I just realized how I'm basically asking what we should do, how he's feeling, and I'm not even sure what.
I've got to say, boss. If the choices are go and watch people shoot guns with a midwife, or sit outside a nut house, it's not really a difficult one for me.
Why don't you join me? It would be good to have the company, and we have so much to catch up on.
Oh, okay.
Rex, do you still have a gun from our times in New Job?
Checking. profile.
Packing his
I forgot
pockets.
to put my inventory.
No,
I think
you
I have a
don't. No, you
no. I
didn't
have a
gun.
lance
You've
because I
got a
went for
lance.
lance.
You got very excited about your lance.
Massive stick.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Oh, you
brother
do have a
Alden.
gun. It's
Oh,
just
do I?
attached to your boat.
Oh yeah. Well, yes. I was not able to get a gun, but I was able to attach one to my ship.
So it does not with you.
No.
Let me.
no.
And so Samadhi pulls his military kit bag off his back and pulls out his Lagrange rifle in two parts and sets the barrel into the stock and hands it to him. You'll fit in with this better. Don't lose it. Don't destroy it. And he hands it off to him.
Here, take this massive illegal firearm and carry it through the streets.
Rex doesn't care. Rex is like, well, Rex knows the significance of this. It's like,
You'll be safe in Derelictus. No one cares, but you'll fit in better at the church with this gun. It's how I infiltrated it a couple of times looking for marks.
oh, okay. Thank you. I know what this means to give, so thank you. I will keep it in.
It was
tip-top
our
position.
CO's rifle. I took it off his body when we killed him.
Yes, I do. I remember. Yes, that was a fun afternoon.
That was it was good to feed him to Charnel.
Okay,
Yes.
so it's going to be our time for some first rolls of the evening. So you separate up and go your different ways. It's still fairly early in the evening, so you've got time to go and do some of your recon and research tonight if you want to. Do you want to set up a meet?
We should probably reconvene
Yes.
somewhere less obvious within Derelictus.
Well, why don't we take a 5-minute break and then we will do a giveaway. So we've got a copy of
Hell
the
yeah.
Spire core rules to
Oh my
give
God.
away.
So
These
cool.
ones.
Ooh,
Very, very pretty book.
Ah.
Amazing artwork.
Yeah.
I strongly recommend that you enter because you'd be mad not to. But if you're a player, you can't. Sorry, Aldun.
I'm gonna go get my crew, bring them in here real quick.
So yes, we're going to do a giveaway after this short break with these messages from our sponsors.
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Hello, we're back. Thank you very much for staying with us through our little nature break, as Pete likes to call them. We were just discussing actually some of the things that make Spire great. And of course, Leon wasn't approaching this originally as a player, so he missed out on some of the little nitty gritty bits. So very quickly, I just wanted to throw out a couple of the core tenets that the writers of Spire put out about the game, things that you should know. Rule number 1, subvert, don't destroy. Rule number 2, this is not a kind world. Rule number 3, you are brave. Rule number 4, you are going to hurt people. Rule number 5, this is going to kill you. Rule number 6, there is always another level. Rule number 7, your own family would sell you out. Hence my surprise about Percival, who I thought had been left outside. But that's okay. We
Likewise.
just adopted him. And the last one is the ministry itself would sell you out if they thought it would give them a greater advantage than having you around. Yeah, rule number 1, you do not talk about Spire. No, you absolutely should talk about Spire. It's a fantastic game. It fixed my deep-seated hatred of Drow. Okay, splendid news. So it looks like everybody's ready. So we're going to go ahead with a little hashtag in a minute. So if you're ready, I think we're going to go with hashtag midwife. Okay, don't write it yet because Pete's got to set it up. So we're going to go with hashtag midwife. and I'll give you a shout when it's time for the giveaway. So yeah, the whole point of the game is that while this is a revolution, it's a revolution you probably can't win, and that every single step of the way will be a massive struggle. Right, so everything you do is going to be a challenge. It's going to be difficult. You might rescue a building, you might rescue a street, you might rescue a whole level, but when you do, they're going to crack down on that level, on that street. Let's shall. Okay, so we want hashtag midwife in chat. You can put it in now.
How about the all caps thing?
Yeah, you did the all caps thing. Go, go, go. Hashtag midwife to win a copy of Spire. Here we go. They're starting to trickle in.
Apparently, I don't get to take part.
So while those are still trickling in a little bit, when we left our players, they were just about to arrange an alternate venue to meet up. Aaron, you know the area, the lay of the land a little bit better than the others because they've been away for longer and you've been hunting around here. Where would you suggest meeting up?
I've got a small safe house down in the Coral Houses near Polaris Station.
Oh, it works for me.
And I thought it might. I give him the address. I go, there's a small X on the bottom corner of the first door on the second floor of that building. Press that X first. Otherwise, when you go in, you won't come out.
Okay.
Okay.
It's like if someone took the Punisher and then removed his sense of humor.
And gave him a large cat dog.
Exactly. Exactly.
I love it. He's perfect. Is your
apparently
Drax
my
the
crew already
Destroyer?
has Spire.
Yes.
Yes, very much so.
It does feel more Drax than the Destroyer. It's just
Okay, so we've
single-minded,
got a
utterly
little
focused.
safe house ready and set up for you to meet up again in the morning once you've all done your first information gather. And it looks like everybody's had their chance at getting the Spire book. So if our Lord and Master would be good enough to command the Nightbot to make its selection. Dun, dun, dun. Who's going to win? Here it comes. 5.
5.
4. 3.
5 is 1.
2.
Oh, there are other numbers.
1.
Right, sorry.
No, he's going really slowly on the count. Toying with you. He's toying with you.
1 Mississippi. 2 Mississippi.
Of course, there is the game lag. Yeah.
Well, we did agree that Ben is the Count from Sesame Street.
Did we? I don't remember agreeing that.
I don't remember agreeing that. I don't think I got any say in which Muppet I was going to be. There was a dispute over whether I was the scientist or whether I was the vampire.
I'm
The
glad.
Foo has won the giveaway.
Excellent. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Hurrah.
Yeah, join the Discord.
So,
They're on,
yes.
they're on the Discord waving it around like, hey, I got the Spire book. Up yours, everyone else. It's like, oh no.
That's just rude.
So if you are already
It is.
splendid, if not, you can find us on the Discord, where you can get in touch with Garblag, who's not our Lord and Master anymore. He's only the Prime Garblag. We've had a glorious People's Revolution and installed him as a
Garblag.
figurehead, head of state.
When we say People's Revolution, there are now 3 other Garblags.
No, we represent the will of the people.
All
I'm
Garblags
like-
are created
yeah.
equal. Some Garblags
rest-
are more equal than others.
Yeah.
The People's Committee.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Pigs are more equal than other animals.
I have a horrible feeling that I'm Trotsky.
Oh, God.
Boom.
Well, that ended up well for him. You know, he got a nice,
He became the people's martyr. That's what
It's true.
matters.
He went ice skating. Yeah, I think there was an ice something involved.
close.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
He picked
Go
up
with
a
that.
piece of ice or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough of this educating folk about the glorious revolution, and let's get back to your own glorious revolution.
Hurrah.
So, first up then, I think Nadir wanted to do some book learning.
Hello. Yes.
So for you, that will be an investigate and occult roll.
Yes.
So you roll that many dice and an extra one for mastery, but your mastery won't apply here.
No. Oh, now I've lost the thing. Sorry, the investigating and also the what now?
I think occult is probably the most appropriate.
Works for me. And then I push the roll button, probably.
Yep. And then we see if this whole shenanigan works.
That should then be...
Oh, you just type in the number of total dice that you're going to roll.
Yeah, so the whole selecting thing is irrelevant.
There you go. So your highest number is a 6 on your investigate occult, which means that you succeed at a cost. So I'm going to give you 1 dice of mind stress. So you take 3 points of stress to your mind.
I have a lot of resistance in mind. What does that mean?
Well, you can roll your resistance in number of dice and see if any of that stress actually sticks.
I press the roll button again, and then I'm going to type in a number. That seems to be how this works.
It's all typing in numbers all the way
That's
down.
gotta be good.
I've got a 10 and an 8 and some 6s.
Right, I have had a brain fart on the rules. Fortunately, Aaron can remind me.
Yeah, so your resistance dots, those actually take off your stress first.
I thought I was doing something wrong.
So they don't,
yes, your stress comes off of those.
Right.
So you take 3 points off of your mind resistances.
Right.
You don't roll your resistance.
It's kind of wearing away.
Yeah, as your resistance starts to wear away. So you strengthen your mind as you do your research. The Vermissian whispers its secrets to you. It's telling you stories from across multiple versions of Spire, different takes on reality, different views. One thing they all seem to agree on is that there is a convergence point somewhere inside that area. Not quite a Vermissian line, not quite a ley line, but there's a weak spot inside that asylum where there is a connection to the heart of some kind.
Oh, that is very
Which is not what you would expect to find in a place dedicated to making people better.
No, so I'm suspecting it is not making the people better. Can I in any way locate the weak point within the fabric of the building? If I get at the big maps and charts and the semi-configured, more than 3-dimensional.
With your big maps and charts, you can't pinpoint the location, but you can pinpoint that it would be something that would be recognizable if you saw it. It's not going to be a subtle thing.
That's going to be weird.
There's going to be weirdness. Yeah, you're going to be looking at non-Euclidean geometries as you get near to this thing. You're going to be seeing some Vermissian style effects, but because it's more closely linked to the heart, you can expect it to be bloodier.
Okay, it's going to be messy. Weird and messy. Okay, make a note. Weird and messy.
Now, Aaron, what were you going to do? You were hunting.
Right, we were going to, Ged and I were going to begin to scout around the outside of the asylum, sneaking along the perimeter, trying to find access points or areas where we think employees might leave the asylum.
That sounds like a sneak and crime to me, then.
Let's do it. Not my best. We'll give it a shot here. Oh, all right.
Ooh, that's very good.
Nice.
Wow.
You managed to find a number of weak points along the fence. You identify 3 points where guard patrols don't overlap. You can see a point where the lighting is dim such that a drow could sneak past at night time, and you find a culvert in a drain that's rusted and could be broken into. What you don't find is any exits that the staff are sneaking out of. They appear to be going in and out of the main entrance. There is one other entrance, and it looks to be where some prisoners are brought in. Not all of them. Most of the, sorry, not prisoners, patients. Most of the patients are brought in through the front gate as well. It's very, very secure building. This place is built like a fort. You can see it's got very thick stone walls. But there is a secondary entrance. And while you're there, you see a person with a bag over their head being dragged in through this door. There are half a dozen human guards there with rifles looking around nervously as two drow manhandle a third figure with a bag over their head through the door, which is a big heavy metal door with a portcullis that slides down over the front of it and into the building. And 4 of the humans go with them into the building. The other 2 get into the cart that they brought them in on, which is like an armored box cart, and drive that off through the streets.
Excellent. I'll just continue to observe that secondary entrance from a hidden low vantage point until it's about time to return to meet with the others.
It doesn't see any other traffic that night. So it does look like this is very much more of an exclusive entrance. Private members' door. Leon and Nye. Was it Leon and No? It was Nye and Pat, wasn't it?
Yeah,
That were.
No, you decided to go to the church.
Yes,
I
you guys
think
were going to the
so.
church.
Yes,
so we'll do Leon
'cause-
first because he's doing the
okay.
asylum.
Oh, okay, yes.
So you park yourself outside the front entrance. What are you hoping to achieve?
I want to follow a staff member, maybe someone who looks higher up than if there's necessarily lower down ones, and find out where they live, where they drink. So I want to be able to.
So you want a sort of higher up sort of medical practitioner?
If I can, but if it gets too late in the day, then I'll follow anyone who looks like staff.
Make a pursue and academia roll if you want to get someone who looks like they're a doctor. If you want to pursue someone who looks more like they're just staff, that would be pursue and low society.
I'll go for pursue low society. I think that's going to be my way in, is pretending to be a lower member. Okay, you've got to help me out on this sheet because
So you go up to the top where it's got roll,
hit roll,
and then you type in the number of dots that you've got filled in pursue and low society. You add 1 dice for doing it straight away.
Okay, just to check the dots. Are the dots the ones that are red or the ones
that are red? Yeah.
Okay, 0.
Ouch.
Okay, so it's actually I've got 0 dice, so I can't do it.
So you roll 1 dice.
So I roll.
No, you
always roll
you
1
always
dice.
you always have 1 dice.
Okay.
And then you add others
It's-
as needed.
The game's
And-
tough. It's not cruel. Like, it will let you roll.
And if somebody's with you and they have dice, they can aid you. But if you fail in your roll, then you both take the stress. So.
Yes.
Plus, you do have a reroll because everybody currently has a reroll. So you've got that at least.
Yay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so that would be a failure.
Okay, I will go for my.
Oh, you're trying to
reroll.
struggle with technology, apparently.
Am I? I just hit roll. I don't think I didn't get to select.
Oh, okay. It's just picking random words
But
then.
if you on your character sheet, if
so
you
I highlight it. I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, technology was in red, so it's pursuit and low society. There we go.
Yeah,
Sorry.
there we go.
You
Okay,
still
so-
have to put in the dice you're going to roll,
Yeah.
but it'll come up with the right skills that way.
So I'll take those 4, but I'll use my reroll from the chat. So. Oh. Thank you, chat.
Aw.
Oh, there we
10's
go.
good, right? Yeah.
That's good. 10's very good. Yeah, 10 is a critical success. It's the
Yes.
highest number you can roll. And so you see an orderly come out, whistling tunelessly and swinging a set of keys around his finger. He's got a truncheon on his belt. He's wearing a white coat, like a doctor, but his bulk is such that it suggests he's less of a practitioner of medicine and more of an enforcer. So he's this big, heavy-set drow with one of those little stubbly beards starting to come out in white on his chin. Maybe he's got some human ancestry, who knows? He's got a sort of deep purplish skin, and one of his eyes has got this massive, darker purple bruise around it. There's a little bit of hair stuck on his truncheon, and he's swinging these keys as he walks out the door, nods at the guards on the door, and starts wandering off through town. Draws his truncheon as he goes off the main street and is sort of flipping it in his other hand. So he's got keys in this hand, which he stopped swinging, and now he's flipping his truncheon instead as he walks along. Occasionally rests it on his shoulder. And he walks off through the streets down into Derelictus. So he lives in this sort of area, but he lives in one of the nicer areas of Derelictus, if you'll forgive the oxymoron. He goes to this small terraced house. So it's got like 2 stories and at least 4 rooms, which is pretty good going. Puts the big keys in his coat, takes a small key off from around his neck, opens the door, lets himself in. You can hear a dog inside start barking when he does. Door closes behind him and a light comes on.
Right.
You can see his silhouette moving around in one of the downstairs rooms, and occasionally a silhouette of a dog jumping up.
Okay. So I'd just like to observe the house a bit more and see if there's anyone else in there. I'm thinking he's living alone in there, but just wondering he might have tenants or something. So
You managed to identify that he is living alone, but that there are houses on either side which are both very, very close. You can hear everything along the street.
Mhm.
So the dog barking in his house sets someone off in another house, and they're shouting at each other out of windows and stuff like that. Think grimy East End Victoriana
Yeah.
kind of terrace.
is there
Headlights,
like an
what we're
alleyway
thinking of.
running along the back of the terrace houses?
There is, yes. They've got tiny, tiny little gardens, which are little more than a small square of stone. Some of them have got little mushroom pots growing in them. His one has got what looks to be a malac plant in a pot and piles of dog turds.
Okay. Yeah, so that's good. I can see the rear access. That's all I kind of really want to report on when I get back to the others.
The light goes off downstairs and comes on upstairs.
Does the dog go upstairs?
The dog doesn't go upstairs, no.
Okay.
Dog stays downstairs. Then the door opens at the back. The dog comes running out, does another crap, runs around a few times in this tiny little square, goes back in. Then the light upstairs goes out as well.
Okay. And there's no dog flap in that back door, so the dog's
There
probably
is-
locked up. Okay.
There is no dog flap, no.
That's good. That's useful information. Okay.
Meanwhile, at the church, now, this is like a revival style church.
Okay.
It's very showy. This is not like the worship of Limyi that you would all have observed, which is peaceful and calm and restrained. It's not like the worship of Charnel, which is brutal and short. This is just some kind of human madness that has gripped people. Come one, come all to Brother Hellion's Church of the Gun on Kiln Street. Bathe in the glittering majesty of humanity's greatest gift from the gods, the firearm. Captured fire, awaiting ignition in gunpowder, the holy rotation of chamber and barrel, the blessed incense of gun smoke, a bold and righteous power in the palm of one's hand, greater than one could ever imagine. Mighty lines of cannon, roaring their defiance at the world, stamping man's domination over the unholy beasts of creation. Each year, the sacred work of the retro engineers in Gwyn M4 University uncovers more and more secrets hidden within the workings of these perfect ancient machines. Come, worship believer, and have your sacred tools blessed by Brother Hellion. Brother Hellion, who saw the face of eternity in a shell casing. Brother Hellion, who heard the secret and percussive tongue of the gods in the crack-banger flintlocks. Brother Hellion, whose very breath is gun smoke, and whose tongue is barrel hot with the fires of creation.
Oh God, this is so fucking blasphemous. I don't even know where to start.
And he's got a tent on Kiln Street set up with pistols and guns and a little crowd all gathered outside the tent, all like waving pistols and rifles around and cheering to one another. There are 3 girls wearing heavy armor following him around, all carrying shotguns. And there's a little crowd of people going around with him. Occasionally, he'll stop what he's doing and throw some bullets to poor people. Sometimes even food as well, but more often bullets.
Question, in case I
Answer.
wasn't paying attention. The sisters, are they Alfir, or were they?
They are
But they were-
also human.
Oh, okay.
He and they are humans.
Oh shit.
No, I meant
These are all
the
humans.
No. I understood
Not
that part.
everyone.
I meant the people that we were told we might have to kill. The sisters.
Oh, the sisters, those are landladies.
Okay, that's fine. I just
So they're
Who-
probably drowned.
They're drowned.
Those are drow.
like walking past every single woman. It's like, is that the sisters? Weebs. No, that's just random people. Please stop bothering
Leave
random
them
people.
alone.
Oh. Wait,
Those are not the
that,
sisters.
that person has white hair. Do you think they're Mr. Winter? No, it's just a person that's old. Oh, right.
That's not the sisters. That's a midwife. Yeah.
That's a lamppost. That's not a
That's a dog. You're kidding me.
I don't know. A dog looks pretty landlordish. No, I apologize.
So, yeah,
I just
you've
got
got
a bit
this little
confused.
revival. There are a couple of scruffy-looking drow. There are some urchins. Told you there'd be urchins.
There's always urchins.
Always urchins.
And there's even some
Urchins, yeah.
gutterkin sort of lurking around the fringes. Creatures that could be kobolds or human children or drow younglings that haven't been raised in a creche. Possibly, you could swear that one of them's got the fur of a gnoll. But why would an infant gnoll be running around the streets of Spire? That's crazy talk.
Well, as traditionalist as I am, I don't see anything wrong about this congregation of folks. In fact, I think it's kind of interesting and worth investigating into as to why so many down and out folks are finding themselves here at this church. And I would probably turn to
One of
my
the things you
faithful
would be aware
companion
of
Rex,
is
I
that
would say.
carrying a gun is illegal.
Mhm.
In Derelictus, you're unlikely to get picked up for it, but it's against the law. And so simply by being there, they're committing a crime. By being there and holding
Makes
a gun, they're definitely committing a crime. And by preaching the worship of guns, that's a crime too. You should be preaching the
Yeah.
worship of the sun, which the Elfir believe in, and they will tolerate the worship of the moon.
Right. So this cult is highly illegal,
It's an illegal cult
And
with
we're here
illegal
to figure this
weapons,
out.
illegally gathering.
whether they're
This all
But
sounds
no
fine.
one has stopped them. They've managed to
I
acquire
mean,
this
honestly-
little following.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested as to why they're capable of doing all this.
They've got
Yeah,
more
so I
guns
would-
than
I
the
would
guard.
Probably, yeah,
That's very
they
true.
could be
actually.
useful allies.
Guard,
could be very
excuse me.
useful allies.
Put lots of pistols pointed at them. I'm on my way. Yeah, it's have a nice day.
Carry on.
citizens.
As you
Carry
were.
I'm not even on overtime. This is not worth it.
on.
So
I
what do you
would
want to
look
do? You've got this
yeah.
little crowd gathered. You've got this shouty man at the front of the crowd talking about holy smoke and fire and brimstone and raining down destruction and purity on your enemies. Those who have done you wrong. Those who have cheated you out of your rightful place. get you a gun and take back
Well,
what's
I mean-
yours.
Weaves.
The vengeance angle definitely appeals to two of the gods we're not allowed to worship.
Hmm. I don't think I like
Um,
this Church of the Gun.
Yeah, so I mean, I obviously see this as terrible blasphemy, but I think we got to investigate further. So I would turn to Rex and say, as much as it pains me to say this, we should probably investigate what's going on here. And it might behoove us to infiltrate the congregation. Now, I stick out like a red rose in an otherwise white rose bush. But perhaps you would do a better job of employing subtlety than I. You
Said no
do
one
have a
ever.
gun, after all.
Hmm.
Sorry, what now?
I have a
I know.
thought.
I'm currently reading Nye's
I'm
mind, and I think I
honest.
know what his thought is, and it's terrifying, but
Um,
awesome.
Weaves, do you think if you had a distraction, you'd be able to kind of pick up kind of the stuff from that's going on? Do you need a distraction, or do you want me to do talking?
I personally think that I would benefit from a conversation with this Hellion and perhaps his guards. I'm not
Okay.
sure a distraction would benefit. I think I need an audience. A religious person talking to another religious person is far from out of the ordinary, don't you think? But you could
Okay.
get an inside ear.
Yes. I think I know what I want to do. Then, on one of my core abilities, pick a fight,
Oh goodness.
it says that
Oh goodness.
one of the things I can do is you want to make a good impression. Now, if I was to fight one of them, do you think that would make a good impression on these people? Or do you think that me, a guy with a lance and armor, is going to come off as like lame to them?
No, because you've got the rifle.
I do, but
Using that ability, if you were to not so much fight one of them, but challenge one of them
okay.
and do well, that might do the trick.
Okay.
Good old shooting match.
Yes. Okay.
You any good at shooting, kid?
If shooting comes under fight, then yes. If it does not, no, God no.
Luckily, there's nice generic categories like fight, so yes, it does.
Yes. Okay, then I'm very good at shooting. I was a soldier as well, so that, well, an enlisted drow, so that makes sense as well. Okay. I would like to go up to them. Percival, and we need to do the thing that we talked about. Remember, like if I wanted to make an entrance and you do like the do, and it's like huzzah, here is the admiral. Like,
So there are
Hype squire.
yes.
three congregants that draw your attention more than the others. They seem to be slightly higher placed, a little bit more important in the pecking order, like they were early joiners. So there's a male drow with deep sunken eyes and a slightly crazed look in his face. There's a female drow again, who's talking to her pistol. And then there's a human who's got some kind of metal teeth. And as you get closer, you can see that he's replaced his teeth with shell casings.
Okay.
Talk a bit like that
no.
as you reach out.
Okay. Right. I would like to, like, I think Rex is a little bit uncomfortable with this because, like, you know, yeah. Okay, never mind.
Says Percival.
Yes,
Wait, he says it. He hasn't got an instrument. Does he
Yeah,
just
hasn't got an
shout?
instrument.
It is I, Admiral Rex of the Lazy Dog, And I see fit to challenge one of you scallywags to a shooting contest.
Challenge.
Oh my god, I just saw your picture.
Just
Wow,
standing in the
that's
background
scary.
like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, please make that go away. That's
That's actually a little bit terrifying.
that is a little bit terrifying.
It's also a little bit real, which is even worse.
That's what makes it terrifying. Yeah.
That's that photoshopped Ratham.
So at this point, Percival has taken off his tabard and tied it around his lance and is sort of waving it from side to side.
Oh, yes, his own lance. That's awesome.
No, it's your lance.
Oh, is it my lance? Okay. All right.
He holds it for you, doesn't he? That's his one job.
Oh, I feel kind of bad now.
But he's got a little flag now,
Yeah.
and it's the lazy dog flag. So
I guess that. Okay.
Uphold the honor of the pub.
Yes, exactly. I'm hoping the name does get some kind of recognition. They'll go, oh, what the fuck? Is that one where that guy like threw up on the street? No, that's the other one. That's not.
that's pretty much all of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've obviously never been to a pub in the East End.
No, I was trying to think of something heinous, but my brain couldn't come up with anything. I was like, threw up.
Throwing up outside a pub is like time-honored tradition. You're not a pub unless
yeah.
somebody's done that.
I know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just a bar. That's no
I'm just
fun.
panicking over this roll because it's gonna be like, I challenge thee and I miss or something. It's gonna be like,
Aw.
I'm just loving the distinction between pub and bar that we've just made there. Does it have vomit outside it? Oh, okay, it's a proper pub now.
yeah.
It's a proper pub.
So
Nice.
how do they
Hipster
react? Do
bar
they
crap.
scoff? I do have the rifle. Like I again, not waving it around, but you know.
Okay, so toothless or not toothless, the gun casing's human chap approaches, and he's holding a rifle in his hand. Looks beautifully maintained, nice and shiny, well oiled. Clearly spent a lot of time working with it. You think you're good at shooting?
I don't think. I know.
I'll shoot you, shoot with you, shoot against you. He's struggling to get the words out around his shell casing teeth.
What shall we shoot?
He
Each other.
points at a small child running down an alley and he goes, see that gutterkin there?
Okay.
Not him.
Yeah, I was
See the
about to say.
cans next to him on the wall?
Yes.
Shoot those.
Yeah, because I would. Okay, I was about to be very angry when you could start shooting a child, but okay, we're gonna. Yeah, the cans makes more sense. Okay. Nobody's near the cans. I feel like I give someone a warning if we're about to start shooting in their general direction.
It's derelictus.
Okay.
The first shot counts as a warning.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair enough, right? Wow. I mean, he's set the rules, so I think I'm the challenger. I'll go first. So I'm gonna roll, and hopefully I won't fuck it up. It's just fight, isn't it?
Yeah,
There isn't
it's fight and low society or religion would both work here.
I'm going to pick low society. So how do I roll? By clicking? I click fight.
Up at the top, there's a button called roll. So you highlight the skills that you're using, and then you click on roll and put in the number of dice that you're using.
Okay. Oh, right. Okay, I follow. And low society. Oh,
Remember, you get one dice base as well.
But I don't put anything into the input value. I just leave that blank.
Right, but 3.
Oh, 3? Okay.
Yeah, you got to actually put in how many dice you're rolling.
Oh.
It's not that clever.
Okay. Oh, well, I'm going to have to re-roll that.
Yeah,
That's
you are.
terrible.
You do have a reroll, though. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Nye is using a reroll.
Well, I have to do something.
You
It's
heard it
for a
here
worthy
first.
cause. For a worthy cause.
Yay!
Hey,
It was
look
worth
at
it.
that.
I've used rerolls before. If it's like imperative.
There's a pop and a clang, and the can that you were shooting at jumps up, flips over, and lands again.
Awesome.
Right back where it was, with a hole right through the middle of it.
Woo.
Beat that. You can see in real life I'm not very good at comebacks or being cocky.
While this is all happening, by the way, my eyes are fixed on what's his face, the Hellion dude.
Yes. Don't know if Ben gets a reroll. I hope not.
I do have a reroll.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I guess tying.
I'm not going to use
really...
it on that because
Yeah.
that would be a waste.
Well,
Right.
also I
So
guess
he shoots as
tying
well,
would
and
be
he
fine,
also
yeah.
hits the can right next to yours, but his wobbles slightly and then falls into the large box of refuse that it was perched on the edge of.
Mm-hmm.
And he sort of nods at you. It's good shooting.
Yeah, I know.
What do they call you, stranger?
I introduced myself and everything. I'm Admiral Rex, Order of the Lazy Dog. I'm a knight.
A knight with gun.
Yes.
Not heard of that before.
I'm not supposed to have it, but it's a secret.
Sounds like you're blessed by the holy fire.
I don't imagine Rex is good at lying, but I imagine he goes, yes.
So they're looking at you with a bit more respect now, and they sort of shuffle around a little bit and make space for you to sit.
Okay, thank you. I'm probably gonna
They hand you a big chunk of bread.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
I imagine I just open my mouth and eat the whole thing.
It's a little bit stale, but it's not the
Yeah.
stalest you've ever had.
Weave, what are you like coming over or? 'Cause I'm probably
I'm honestly I'm doing the whole looking on from outside sort of
okay.
thing.
That's fine.
I want to pay attention to everybody's reactions to you though, and I don't want to draw too much attention to myself.
Okay, that's fine. I imagine you would have
Kind of
said
lurking in the shadows, watching.
that's fine. I imagine you would have said to Rex like, okay, don't call me over. Don't do that. Got it. Call you over. No, don't. I'm invisible. Bye.
So your little
I
shooting
pat you on
match
the back very gently.
punctuates
Kind of like,
the end of
Go
the
and
ceremony
don't come back.
quite nicely.
Okay.
And at that point, the congregants start to disperse a little bit. Brother Hellion comes over to you. He's a very serious looking man, like fire in his eyes and these gorgeous pistols on his hips. That's a Lagrange rifle.
Yes, so I'm told.
Military grade. Excellent make.
Mm-hmm.
Well cared for.
Yep.
Not many of your ilk see the light tonight. You're a veritable bastion, a tank of destruction. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
You're welcome to join our congregation if you wish.
Well, it's a very nice offer. I'm more kind of, I like as a knight, we knights, we like to test our metal, and I kind of like tap my armor as I say that, and it's less about worship of the weapon, if that makes sense, and more about kind of the skill and like the competitiveness.
I understand, but where
Yes.
better to come than to those whose weapons are blessed by the god of firearms?
My thought exactly, yes.
Tell your friends. Send them all. We'll shoot against all comers.
Okay. Yes. I was gonna ask just kind of what the church is about, you know, because well, I mean, I myself know this, but we're not meant to have guns, so I'm just kind of curious how this whole having guns thing works. And I do have compel, but it's only 1 pip, so it's gonna be 2, and I'm probably gonna fail horribly.
Gun, and he draws both of his pistols and swirls them round dramatically before putting them back in opposite pockets. Gun is power in the hand of man. Your generals, they can command armies, they can send a man to die. But with a gun in his hand, a man makes his own way. The gun is destiny, the gun is fortune.
Hmm.
That.
They're the future.
Huh. Interesting. So you just don't really care is the sentiment I'm getting from this? You don't really give a shit if people see you with guns and they don't want you to have guns? Would that
You've got
be the
all the
gist?
guns. What are they going to
Right.
do?
Okay.
No, you're so.
Do you have investigate now?
Fuck no.
You do
I'm
have
a-
compel, don't you?
I do have compel. Yes, I do.
Okay, well, you can use compel not to force him to tell you something, but to sort of pick up on sort of a subtle undertext to what's going on if you want.
Yes, I think I'll need that.
And Pat,
'cause
if you want to
yeah.
do an investigate while that's happening.
Yes, I
So
definitely
it's
do.
Yes,
Low
help me out.
society?
one combination of compel or investigate, low society or religion.
Okay.
Oh,
I
it's,
actually have
it would still be
occult
3
and
again.
not
That's
religion, but
the
I'll
exact
take
same
low
thing for me.
society.
Oh wait,
One-
Ben, I forgot to add the one I get just for rolling.
Oh, that was silly.
So I have 1 in
So I only rolled 3
low
for
society,
fighting.
0 in investigate, and then 1 for just rolling. So it's 2d10.
There we go. I
2d10,
got an
yeah.
8.
Okay.
Yes. What happened was I forgot that I was supposed to add 1 die. So for my fight, I was rolling 3 when I should have rolled 4.
Okay, so you might have actually, well, you wouldn't have done better than a 10 anyway.
No, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't roll the 4th die for your second fight pit unless it's with your knack, which is attacking somebody with
okay.
your lance.
Yeah. You
Oh,
only
well,
hit
that's
the
fine
fourth
then.
dot
Yeah.
with lance. Okay,
That's
so
absolutely fine.
you succeed. He's kind of bragging to you. He's
Okay.
letting something slip in the way that he's telling you stuff. He's telling you that people aren't going to come against him. He's not just showing bravado. He's indicating that there's nobody going to act against him, which suggests that he has a backer, is what that tells you.
Okay.
Someone with a little bit more weight behind them is acting as a sponsor or a backer of this guy for some reason. Pat, what your investigation reveals to you is that a lot of these drow would be people that would be throwing themselves into the hands of the ministry, or they would be, because these are people who are struggling, they're having a really tough time, and they're coming here and they're getting this quick, easy fix that is going to result in a short, violent life that ends probably in a shootout with them being the bad guys. Arming the drow is making the drow look like bad guys, making it easier to curb stomp people in the poor district.
Oh, I see.
So this is a front
I knew I didn't
for
like this guy.
pulling together the dispossessed that would otherwise come to Limyi or to the ministry for help, and instead giving them false hope. It's a false idol.
This is the CIA giving people cocaine. Got it.
Okay. I'm going to look at this man and I'm going to say, well, if you ask me, I think power comes from people, and I don't really think it matters if the people have a thing that goes boom in their hands. I think people are always gonna do what's right and stop wrongdoing. So I'm okay for the church if that's okay. And I'm going to
Bless
turn
your
around
heart,
and leave.
boy. You're a naive one, aren't you?
No.
Well, you're welcome back anytime.
I think you're the naive one, sir. And I'm going to walk away.
Luckily, Nye has armor 3
Yeah, I do.
on his back. Now, this guy wouldn't shoot you in the back. He'd shoot you in the front whilst shouting about how blessed he is to be able to do so.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He lets you walk off. Doesn't need your kind of grief. He's got plenty of people that will follow him.
Yeah, I was about to say, who the fuck does he care? But yeah.
So you've
assuming
all
you've come
done your
back.
little investigations and found out various pieces of intel and information. Is there anything anybody wants to do before meeting up back at the safe house?
Well, I probably would get like a briefing from Rex. I was gonna call you Nye, sorry. And
That's okay.
and I would probably be like, "You told him what? You should infiltrate further.
Oh,
That was the whole plan."
I just didn't feel right. I mean, I kind of like get leaned down low to sort of like with the ministry. I think it's more to do with people wanting to be free than it has to do with giving people guns. And I think that they are a bit stupid for worshipping a thing that kills people. Like, because like I killed people and so have all of us, but I don't think that's a good thing. I think that's a necessary thing, but it's bad, and worshipping
agree.
something that yes, sorry. I messed up, didn't I?
No, you didn't mess up. You did exactly your job, and you did it with your own panache.
Okay.
And
He's a
I
little
admire you for
philosopher
that,
warrior.
and accept and appreciate it.
I don't know,
That said, we
Warrior
are
poet. Oh, here we go again.
we are
I'm sorry.
I
at
love it.
war.
It's beautiful.
It is
Continue.
We are at war. It is a silent war. It is a war that we cannot publicly announce, nor can we shoot people in the streets over. But we are at war. And those may well be the pawns of our oppressor. I believe that to be the case. What we
Okay.
should do now is infiltrate their ranks, determine who is financing them and who benefits from their presence in the streets. And then we take the fight to them, or at the very least, remove a pawn from the table.
Yeah.
You played your part well, but there is more to the part than just an introduction.
Okay. Thank you. Also, Percival, your trumpeting skills are very good. They've improved immensely.
You know I'd make him better, don't you?
A trumpet.
Well, the night's budget has been
Do
like
I convey my intent clearly?
yes,
Marvelous.
yes. Okay.
No need to concern yourself with your righteous indignation at their methodology. It is wrong, and we intend to undo wrong, or at least minimize harm. That's where you will come in further down the line. I think you've made a wonderful impression with a difficult person,
Okay.
and I think you will continue to. I don't expect this man to take slights lightly, but I also don't expect him to be the type to harbor a grudge when firearms can handle grudges readily.
He's kind of an asshole, come to think of it.
Yes, he is, actually. Having heard most of the discussion, really seems like one. I agree with you entirely. However, certain people must be handled in ways that benefit the whole. And sometimes you just gotta stick your hand in an asshole to get what's good and to achieve a goal. I mean, stick your hand in their hand and shake it. It's fine.
With that beautiful visual image.
Rex is now walking going, surely weave doesn't mean literally.
Metaphors!
Actually,
We midwives speak in metaphors!
Not sure Rex does metaphors. He's probably just looking at his hand at this point in time going, really?
Sometimes we have to get our hands dirty, just throwing that out there.
Does anybody want to do
We're
anything
getting
else
some-
before meeting up at the safe house in
I th-
the early morning?
I think Samede, after he leaves his perch, would when he's going through Derelictus, would go over to Brick Street and signal one of the members of the child gang there on Brick Street, because he was a member of that gang as a child. And the urchin comes over and he hands him some coins and a note. He says, "Take this to the Morticians Guild, to Babako, the executioner there. I'll need to speak with him. I'll be back later this morning with food for the children. Tell no one." And then he goes to the safe house.
All right, Gav. And off he potters. Anybody else want to do anything before the safe house? Coffee run,
I think, Houghton, did you not say you wanted to try
egg
and
sandwich.
do something? Or...
No, I'll do that next time. That's okay.
Okay, I was just checking.
Thank you.
Okay, so you meet up at the safe house in the morning then.
Yes.
Siblings.
Leon?
You asking me directly, or how I'm addressing my crew?
Oh, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
anything you want to do when you get there.
Perhaps someone else should be asked while I rearrange windows.
As you wish. Oh, it's Pat's line dropped. Sorry. Alden, it's quite near the Vermissian. You can be the first one there then.
Okay, I will pick up a hot brown morning potion and stroll over. Trying to make, there was something about an X. I had to push an X, and then I go through the third door on the left. Oh, I don't know. Drink. We'll give it a go and see what happens.
Well, you press the X and you don't get killed by the crossbow that's set up inside the door.
Oh, that was clever. Okay, I like this.
It's like a ballista, so it's like a full-on siege weapon. Like, oh wow, that'll fuck you up.
You open the door and you have to edge past it because there's not really enough room in the hallway.
Yeah, it's quite a small safe house. Most of the room is taken up by the crossbow.
Ballista.
Maybe you switch that off when you go in.
No. I'm going to see if everyone else was paying attention as well.
Right, Aaron, you arrive as well. Someone has already entered because the X has been depressed.
I check it, make sure that the trap is disabled, move in, leave it disabled. When the others arrive, I'll rearm all the traps in the room and we'll be safe here while we rest and discuss things. How was the Vermissian later?
Oh, it was very comfy. It was nice. I found out some interesting things. It warped my brain a bit, but that's normal. I like your place. It's good. The ballista's very nice touch.
This is more a way stop. I have no actual place.
Well, no, of course not. You are a wonder of the world.
Leon, you arrive.
Hello, siblings. I trust you had a good reconnaissance.
Yeah, a little bit.
Very productive.
Fucking, but yeah, it was okay.
I was able to follow a lower member of the staff, I assume some type of enforcer based on the size of themselves and the club they were carrying.
Oh, a club, you say?
Nye and Pat, you guys both arrive as well.
Swoop in.
The ballista misses you and hits Nye.
Oh no! I pressed
Runs
the
off
button
my
first.
armor.
I
Spang!
make sure the button's pressed. I was
Wait,
paying
there was a
attention.
ballista?
Well, I
that
think a fly
tickled.
came by.
Oh, yeah.
As
So
soon as
you're all in the safe house and sat around. It's not really a ballista. It is more of a crossbow, and it's kind of a one-shot fire and forget.
Yeah.
It would be an unpleasant surprise for anybody that came in.
I do reset the traps on the door and lock it, and then I hold out my hands to Admiral Rex and just say, "My rifle."
Yes, I gave you the rifle. Sorry, I did have to expend a bullet, so I can reimburse you for that if necessary.
No need, brother. Just make sure you clean it before I take it back.
Yes, I took very good care of it. I cleaned it just like when we were in the military together. So
Excellent.
it's nice and clean. Yes.
He disassembles the Lagrange and puts it away.
Mhm.
And then reaches into his field jacket and he pulls out his leather field book and he goes, the reconnoiter of the asylum went well. The security is weak. There's at least 3 points in the perimeter, and he pulls out a map that he sketched where the guards don't overlap their patrols. There's also a place on the backside where the lights are dim and shadows are deep. We could easily infiltrate there. And perhaps the most promising spot is an old rusted culvert that may lead us past the walls and into the asylum. There were no other exits for the staff, only the front door. But, and I think this is the most telling, they have a small entrance for patients. And I observed one of these so-called patients being taken in. He was hooded, but I suspect he was a drow. They were brought in an armored cart by humans, at least a half a dozen. Yes, humans, clearly mercenaries. There were 2 drow there as well, waiting for Charnal's blessing. They took the drow in this entrance. So we could either infiltrate through the security or we could perhaps take one of these armored carts on the way in and infiltrate that way. Options.
Well, Weebs and I ran into some humans,
You did?
and they're kind of not great.
The church
From
of the gun is full of them.
Yeah. I mean, Weaves kind of understands it a bit better than me, but to my kind of read, if you will, the guy there is getting some kind of like support, because when he was boasting, it felt more to me like he was trying to say like, haha, no one can stop me because I got someone backing me. And I know not to make, assumptions, but it's a little bit coincidental that there's a bunch of people with guns, and there's also an asylum with humans as mercenaries, now that you mentioned that. So I don't know if there's a connection, but maybe there's something going on.
All webs connect at certain threads.
Well, if we must take out Brother Hellion, we need to be wary of his mercenaries. The 3 women who follow him are deft with the weapons, but it would be nice to take his arsenal for the ministry.
Oh, I concur. I would find it also curious that he is so well backed and taking so many folks of the street who experience the same oppression that we have into his arms and offering them guns in exchange or instead of proper assistance and revolutionary conceits. I do think that he is something of an adversary to us, although perhaps unwitting, a pawn in the grander scheme of things, but perhaps a pawn that could be investigated further and, if not taken off the board, perhaps moved against.
Perhaps we need to find out who's
in some
funding him
fashion.
and turn the funder to our ways, and then he would never even need to know that he was working for the ministry.
Quite possible, yes. That is certainly an option if the backer is amenable. If the backer is not, perhaps the backer could be replaced. And we would still have...
Yes. Accidents happen within the Spire every day.
Indeed. And the webs can be treacherous, if not weaved by the spider walking upon them. Yes, what you said.
It's all very Gnostic in here.
Nadir, what did you find?
I found that if I try and look at more than 5 dimensions at once, it makes my eyes bleed. So this is an important lesson, I think, for everybody.
I
I
thought there were
also
only
found.
2 dimensions.
Oh, Rex.
Rex.
Oh, my young
There's only 2
friend.
dimensions, up and down.
Forward and back are just up and down on their sides.
Yes, in and out. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. I also, and I unfurl a massive map that. Don't look at this too closely. It hurts. But you can see here, and probably no one else can, that there is an intersection of the energies and of the Vermisian, and it is flowing through the asylum. But right here, and I'm not holding my finger tall still, there is a bleed from the heart, and this is within the asylum, and there is something very, very wrong with the basically the fabric of reality is we have a technical word for it. It is fucked. That's the one.
That's horrific. Are
Yeah.
you telling me that they're sending insurgents into the heart of the Vermisian?
No, I suspect more that they are doing something horrific to the drow within the asylum, and that this is tearing a hole in reality.
Oh, that's almost worse. Well, actually, I'm not sure.
If we were able to get you to the Nexus, would your skills as a Vermisian sage be able to heal the rift?
Heal or maybe redirect or integrate into the fuller Vermisian, so it would be better. Both. Yes, why not? Let's go with yes. We're not getting out of this alive.
Good point.
But also, there's probably a lot of pain and suffering going on making this happen, so we should probably stop that too.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
And before the others came in, you were saying you were able to follow a member of the a guard from the asylum to his home. Is that correct, my masked friend?
Yes, he looked like an orderly, but was more of an enforcer. I think he proposes a good opportunity to steal his keys and access, and provide one of us a disguise in order to get in through the front doors and perhaps move about.
A large man with a club, you say?
And a dog.
Oh, and a dog, but more the club. I was more going with the large person and the club, and then maybe thinking, oh, which one of us could that be? Oh, I don't know.
So my dear rolls his shoulders and goes, he sounds like a prime opportunity for interrogation. And then he looks at the Admiral and he goes, sounds like he's your size, my friend.
Oh, and I could disguise myself and go in there and...
You do seem to be put into many infiltrations.
That's a thought! You had a thought, Rex! Oh, yes. I'm so proud!
Oh, no need.
It's just a shame that Percival was not here to see it.
Yeah, I let him have a lie-in today.
That's probably
I think he deserves it, yeah.
Yeah.
He worked really hard yesterday, and I don't want to push him too hard.
So we're going to wrap it up there with your investigation done for now. There's a second stage or whatever it is you want to do next, and we'll have a little bit of time to think about that between now and next week. So thank you very much for joining us tonight on Garblad Games. If you want to stay in touch, we've got Discord, we've got Facebook, we've got Twitch, we've got all those other things. You can find us on Twitter, all the good stuff. Everywhere you would expect to find people who are making things and producing things. We have a Patreon, which has recently undergone a little revamp and improvement. And you're seeing a lot more stuff coming out of our Patreon now. There's at the lower end, we've got access to our Patreon-only channels and to our meta world-building stuff that we're doing for our Traveller game. And Then at the higher levels, you've got monthly games with one of the Garblag crew and loads of stuff in between. So, Pat announcement.
Nadir, you're too kind.
Pat, do you have an announcement?
Yes, actually, if you permit me.
Fire away.
Tonight, by which I mean to say an hour from now, an hour and a half, actually. An hour and a half from now, I will be putting on the finale of my Nibiru campaign, short campaign, on Weave the Tale. I'm from Diesel Shot, but we have been invited on Weave the Tale for a 3-part Nibiru extravaganza. If you haven't heard of Nibiru, it's a marvelous sci-fi universe that has recently had a secondary Kickstarter that was successful and kick-ass, and we're so here for it. And tonight I'm putting on the last of 3 episodes on Weave the Tale. So if you have the time, if you are still awake, if you're not necessarily, if it's not 1 o'clock for you and you need to fucking fall asleep, or if it is 1 o'clock for you and you want to stay up for something, then come on through because we're going to be having an amazing finale, an awesome last episode to Nibiru on Weave the Tale. And I would love to have as many people come through as possible to just,
I've heard a
end it with a
malicious
bang.
rumor that there might be a specialist costume for that as well.
I'm definitely going to switch up the entire makeup look and different costumes, so come through.
Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. Maybe I need to dress up more.
Honestly, yeah. I'd
Yeah.
love to see you in some fancy ass costumes and some makeup. Get on that.
Okay, cool. Right, well, next week on
Awesome.
Garblag Games, we've got Tuesday, Masks of Nyarla Photep. Watch my characters, I'd say slow descent into madness, but it's pretty rapid, to be fair. We are coming up on the Temple of Ultimate Evil and Doom, so there's no way that can end well for anybody. On Wednesday next week, I don't actually know what's happening because Star Wars reached its conclusion. So there's going to be something happening on Wednesday. We just don't know what. Might be a one-shot, might be the start of Warhammer. We'll let you know. Stay tuned to our Twitter and Discord to find out more there.
Tease people like that.
We're back next week for more Spire, Bedlam Hill. We've established that there is an asylum, that bad things are happening inside, and that there's a cult of gun nutters. What we're going to do with that information will come out next week, hopefully. Thank you very much for joining us. I have been Ben. This has been my wonderful cast, and we will see you anon. Thank you. Good night.